When we think of a classroom, most of us just picture a room with tables and chairs. But what if it was engineered, like a piece of architecture? A space that was super carefully designed not just to hold children, but to build an independent human being from the ground up. Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today, the intentional architecture of the Montessori classroom. This is something you hear from parents all the time when they first step inside. You can just feel this sense of calm, of quiet focus. It's peaceful, not chaotic. And that feeling, it's not an accident. It's totally by design. So, how do you do it? How do you actually create a sanctuary in a room full of young kids? What are the specific design secrets that make this atmosphere of deep focus and peace even possible? Well, that's what we're about to find out. Okay, so the first big idea, the most important one, is that the environment is built to empower the child. Every single thing in the room is designed to send one consistent message. Hey, you got this. You can do this yourself. And where does this whole idea of independence start? Well, it begins with the most basic thing you can think of, the furniture. It's the very first physical thing a child interacts with in their learning space. The genius here is just how simple it is. The furniture is low so kids can actually see everything and sit down without needing a boost. It's light and movable so a child can literally rearrange their own workspace. They can create a setup that works for them without having to ask a grown-up for help. Everything is within their reach, which just gets rid of frustration and builds that self-reliance piece by piece. And this is so important. By giving kids total physical control over their immediate surroundings, you're not just making them comfy. You're building their confidence brick by brick. You're giving them a small world that they can completely navigate and master all on their own terms. Now let's talk about the shelves. This is not just some random toy box, right? The materials are all carefully laid out on these low, open shelves in a really logical order. They flow from left to right, starting with the simplest ideas and then getting more and more complex. It's like a silent visual roadmap for their learning. And this gets to a really deep Montessori idea, that an organized world on the outside helps a child build an organized mind on the inside. When the world around them makes sense, when it's predictable and logical, it's way easier for them to develop the mental tools for reason, for logic, and for that deep concentration we all want. All right, so we've got the physical layout down, but there's another really important layer here, the whole sensory vibe of the place. The goal is to create a space that's meant to soothe the nervous system, not jack it up with a bunch of stimulation. And you can really see the difference here, can't you? A lot of classrooms, they're just this explosion of bright primary colors and busy posters. It can be a little much, right? Well, a Montessori room is the total opposite. It intentionally uses neutral colors, the warmth of natural wood, real plants, and soft, natural light to create this feeling of peace and focus. And let's be clear, this isn't just about making the room look nice. It's about brain science. A calm, uncluttered space actually frees up a child's mental energy. It means their brain can focus completely on learning instead of being constantly distracted by all that sensory noise. This whole philosophy even trickles down to the stuff they use. Yeah, you're not going to find a ton of plastic here. Instead, you'll see real things. Little pitchers made of actual glass, blocks made from different kinds of wood, and utensils made of metal. So why do this? Because real materials give you rich, authentic sensory feedback. A kid feels that a glass pitcher is heavier and more delicate than a wooden one, and that metal feels cool when you touch it. This real-world info is so important. And here's the kicker. When they use real breakable items, they learn without a single lecture to move with care and to respect their tools. Okay, so we've seen how the room helps kids be independent and calm. But now for the really cool part, how the room itself becomes a silent teacher, showing kids crucial life skills without ever saying a word. And it all starts with this one simple rule. Everything has a place. And I don't just mean for tidiness. It's about creating a reliable, predictable system that a child can learn and take care of themselves. That gives them this amazing sense of ownership and security. And one of the most brilliant tools for this is the humble work mat. Seriously, it's just a small rug that a child unrolls on the floor before they start something. But what it does, it's huge. Okay, so that little mat, it creates a visual bubble, a personal workspace. It teaches other kids, hey, don't walk through here, which builds this natural respect for personal space. But here's the real genius. It teaches the entire cycle of doing something. It's a masterclass in how to function. You plan your work,
You set up your space, you do the thing, and then you complete the cycle by cleaning up and putting the mat away.
And that, right there, is the magic trick. The design of the room itself, with these simple tools like the work mat, is teaching these incredibly important life skills without anyone having to say a word. The adult doesn't need to nag or lecture. The environment is guiding the child toward order and responsibility all on its own.
And this, right here, is the main thing to remember. Nothing in a Montessori classroom is random or just for show. Every single thing, from how high the shelves are to what the spoons are made of, has been chosen for a specific developmental reason. It's literally an engine for learning.
So when you put all of this careful design together, what do you get? It's not just a pretty room. The result is a child who develops real independence, this deep confidence in what they can do, and maybe rarest of all, the ability for sustained, focused concentration. So we've seen just how powerfully a child's environment can be designed to shape who they become. And that leaves us with one last thought to take with you. If our spaces have this much power over us, how are your own environments, at work, at home, shaping you every single day?